Hi, my name's Gina from Colorful Living.
Hi, it's AJ from Healer's Harmony.
We wanted to come to you today to share a little bit about our story, what inspired me to create the Colorful Clearing method, how AJ is part of that inspiration and his story. So a little bit about the method. We both had a hand in designing it. I came up with the method after pieces of it came to me in meditations and dreams. And for 5 years, I've looked for natural ways to control my anxiety, but also to help my son because he has dealt with some mental health issues in the past, ADHD, diagnosed social anxiety disorder and anxiety. He's going to tell you a little bit about his story in just a minute. The method, though, is a non-traditional meditation therapy. And we take a little bit of journaling, somatic breath work, meditation, and then we also put some movement in there as well to open the energy centers. But the big thing that we collaborate on is the music portion. And I'm going to have AJ tell you a little bit about that. It's funny when your kids pick up a hobby and, well, what was kind of a hobby, I guess. So AJ went to 1 year of college. He'll tell you a little bit about that shortly as well, and decided not to go back. And when he came home, I think he was, didn't have the direction that a lot of young adults face at some point. And he started to do music production, making beats. And all of a sudden he started asking for every Christmas for more expensive equipment. And his dad and I obviously supported him in that. And through his learning of how to create soundtracks, it ended up being such an incredible tool and resource. I'm so grateful. And I look back now and I think, wow, I know I might have gave him a hard time here and there, but what a purpose he has now, creating background tracks that are specifically designed for healing and to help you get into meditative states easier. So AJ is going to tell you a little bit about the creation of the music in our colorful clearing sessions.
So the music in the background of these colorful clearing sessions is the backbone. It's the backbone of the entire thing. I've experienced meditation with and without music, and I most definitely prefer with. It is crazy what solfeggio scale frequency tracks and binaural beats can do to your body and your mind. They affect your mind, they affect your body, they affect your emotional state, and they put you in states of being where you can be in a meditative state. You can be really relaxed, you can be calm, or you could even be energized and focused. They induce you into these states so you can complete tasks or so you can have a deeper meditation or a deeper sleep.
We just finished a session yesterday locally in the Pittsburgh area. And if you do live in Pittsburgh, we would love to have you join us. Just follow us on our social media pages and you'll definitely get an announcement. One of the reviews a lady wrote, I was really surprised at how much I got out on the page during the journaling part. And she even commented that she feels the music was a critical part in helping her mind open up to get so much down. And not to get into the science behind why every single piece of this is developed, that'll be in a different video. But when we have thoughts, they have an energetic imprint, and we need to bring them down into the physical world to release them so that they can remove that hold on you, that heavy feeling. So when I discovered meditation, I didn't think I was doing it correctly. And I know AJ, suffering from ADHD, had a really kind of hard time in the beginning meditating because it's not easy. And he's actually working right now on something so incredible. I could not be more proud. He is developing a course that is specifically designed for people who have ADD and ADHD. It is solely to help someone that might have a little bit more difficult time focusing to ease their way into meditation with a quick 2-minute meditation, 4-minute meditation, 6-minute meditation. There'll be a series that you can work up. And then in the course, he goes over some of the things that helped him on his journey and how he was able to overcome some of the mental health issues that he has been dealing with since he was a really young child. AJ, do you want to tell them a little bit about your journey of when your kind of challenges started. It was a very young age. So he's going to tell you a little bit.
So growing up, I had severe social anxiety. I had ADHD, and it was very difficult for me to feel like I fit in. And that resulted in overthinking, that resulted in even depressive episodes sometimes. And it was really overwhelming to stop the racing thoughts. It was really overwhelming to even just get myself into bed to go to sleep at night and stop the racing thought forms so I can get a good night's rest before school. And back then, it felt very difficult for me to reach out for a support system or reach out for therapy. I would barely even talk about it to my parents, to my friends, to my close loved ones, my brothers, and it was very difficult to deal with it sometimes because it was all me, and I was forcing myself to deal with it alone. Sometimes I would push them down, and then other times I would process them. It was kind of a mixture of both, but I will say that if you are one of those people who pushes your emotions down, practice meditation and they will forcibly come out and you will have to deal with them, and you will be better on the other side if you deal with them now rather than later. So once I graduated high school and went to college, I felt like I didn't have any direction. I was kind of just going to college to go to college, going to college to play football. I ended up kicking for a football team, and that was kind of the only reason why I went. I had no end goal in mind. I had no major, and it ended up being a fantastic social experience, and I learned so much about myself, even though I didn't have a major and even though I dropped out after 1 year. So end of summer 2021 is whenever I had a manic episode and dealt with some very dark emotions, and that forced me to do something about it. That is whenever my mom introduced me to meditation. Meditation, in addition to therapy and mindfulness practice, awareness practices, and my support system, my family around me, all those combined together helped me deal with those dark emotions and overcome them, and I came out better on the other side. Whenever you practice meditation, you're inducing deep states of relaxation, and you are able to process your thoughts in a manner that you have never done before if you've never meditated. Through breathwork techniques, through energy healing, and through meditation, you can overcome even the darkest, scariest emotions, the scariest, darkest thought forms that you've ever had. You can deal with them. You can manage them. It's possible.
It was very scary for me. Talk about scary emotions. When he was going through that, it was a very, very pivotal moment in my mom journey. When you see your child on the brink of, a mental breakdown, it is very, very scary. And then you're dealing with the mental health system, which we all know is not great. And I took 10 days off of work. I did not leave AJ's side. When you are at the mercy of doctors and medication time frames where it's going to take a while to kick in to see the results, I slept in the same room as him for those 10 days. And I was with him almost 24 hours a day, the whole time. And he was in intensive outpatient therapy. And during a time of just helplessness, I said, why don't you let's try meditating. Of course, it was very difficult for him to participate in meditations at first, but he gave it his effort. He tried and eventually came to me asking me to get certified in pranic healing. And that's where we're going to shout out our teacher and Master Stephen Coe. And I almost get filled up a little bit because AJ and I would not be here talking to you like this if it was not for that man and that man's mentor, Master Chakuk Sui, and the creation of pranic healing. And the colorful clearing method is a direct result of my education around pranic healing, and knowing some of those techniques are filtered in to the colorful clearing method. And it's incredible when you experience the effects of meditation and can come on the other side of these dark experiences that we have both lived. You've only really heard his story. I'll share mine in a future video. But when you come out on the other side of that and are awakened to what energy and the ability to access that energy does for our lives, you're changed. You're not the same. And that's why we are devoting the rest of our lives in the pursuit of helping as many souls as we can experience the effects that we've been so blessed to experience.
Meeting Master Co was the best thing that ever happened to us. Master Co posts guided lectures and meditations, and whenever I was going through those really scary times, those really dark times, I watched his lectures and guided meditations religiously. If it weren't for his lectures, I wouldn't have adopted these open-minded perspectives and completely immersed myself into awareness and mindfulness techniques and realized my true nature if it weren't for those lectures. And I wouldn't have overcame my mental health crisis if it weren't for practicing his guided meditations.
I actually was introduced to Master Stephen Co through the great Tony Robbins. Again, grateful for your teachers, right? So I can't help it. I get full because that day you came in the living room. So it was a UPW. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's Unleash the Power Within. And it was, right during COVID. And I think it was one of the first huge online UPWs that Tony hosted. And I'm all in the living room. And of course, we're all in quarantine and everybody's in the house. So this one's walking through like, what are you doing? And I said, you know what? This could be really helpful. Would you sit and watch? And he didn't watch the whole thing, but I gave him my board and he broke it. And he went through most of it. He missed the meditation part with Master Co, but I didn't. And that day was the very first day that I felt energy. I had never meditated before that day. And I remember feeling after that meditation, I just knew I was hooked. I was like, I got to feel that again. And so I started immediately following Master Co. And the crazy thing was, though, I chased that feeling for 6 months. I never felt that same energy. And I didn't realize probably one of the reasons why I felt it at the time was due to the immense number of people that were on. So when you get a group together to meditate, which is also the reason why the colorful clearing method is designed to have us do this work together. Because when you do meditation together, you can really experience amplified benefits and results more quickly. I chased that feeling for 6 solid months. And I didn't realize at the time the reason why I had felt the energy during a UPW was because there were thousands of us meditating online together at the same time. The colorful clearing method is designed with that in mind, meaning that this method is designed for us to do together, whether it is in an online session, an in-person session. When we meditate together, it is 10 times greater in the amplification of energy. You experience 10 times the results when you meditate with others collectively. And I have to say, that's probably one of the most beautiful things him and I get to do together sometimes is meditate together. It's quite amazing.
Whenever you get into spirituality and meditation, it is such a vast world. You open your mind to energy and you experience the effects of it. After gaining so much experience meditating and adopting open-minded perspectives, you realize it helped you so much that now you can't sit there and not tell others about it. And that is why we are here teaching and spreading our message to anybody who wants to practice meditation and give it a shot.
We went and got certified at Master Co's very first ever Healer's Mastery in Chicago. And I believe that was back in 2022. And I think that was our second class. We had got certified in Pranic Healing Level 1 prior to that in Dayton, Ohio. And then we went to the first Healer's Mastery. And
that was 2023.
In 2020. Oh, yeah. Crap. Okay. How are we going to edit that out?
Oh, sorry.
Maybe we shouldn't. There we go. 2023. So we went to Master Co's very first Healer's Mastery in 2023. And I remember learning some of the techniques, and participating in something like that with your son is really special, especially with how old he is, being so young. But I remember when we were doing some of the techniques, I would put in my Yoda voice, like, the force is strong. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. But I was like, the force is strong with you, young one. And we love Star Wars. We're big sci-fi fans. I know whenever I came back from Healer's Mastery, something had shifted in me. I felt more of a connection to this work. And I believe that that was the start of developing what my true soul purpose is and calling. And I truly feel that along with AJ, we're going to be able to introduce, hopefully, a lot of people to this work. We would love to invite you to experience a colorful clearing session. We host together in a group. It's a school group. It's free to join. It's called the Colorful Collective. AJ also has his own group called the Zen Zone. And in each group, you're going to have a little bit different experience. Both are free to join. AJ works, I think, a little bit more in with the crowd that wants to take their spirituality to an even deeper level. He gets really deep into some spiritual topics and into the work, and gears it more for people in their 20s and 30s. My group is definitely tailored for men and women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and up. You are never, never too old to start this work and to reclaim your sense of peace, calm, and purpose. I know for most of my childhood and teenage years, and even through my 20s and 30s, I felt this inner calling that I just knew I was made for more, but I didn't really know what that more was. I searched, I thought it was doing hair. I was happy. I loved my job. I never had a day go by going to work where I felt that dread of going to work. And it wasn't until I stepped into this calling, this work, that it was like I told AJ after our very first colorful clearing session, I told him, I have never felt more at home when I was giving that presentation. And then the past class that we just hosted, I read the reviews, and you can tell them I read the reviews and what I do.
She read the reviews and she immediately broke down into tears, and she expressed how she knew that we were both meant to be doing this, that we're both meant to be doing this for the rest of our lives. This is our purpose work.
And that was such a special moment, and I will never forget it. I'm sure we'll look back on that one day as our humble beginnings. But enough about all of this. We would love to have you in a session. AJ, tell them all about what to do.
Hit that like button and subscribe to Colorful Living with Gina Marie and Healer's Harmony. Click the link tree in the description to join the Colorful Collective and the Zen Zone. Thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to experience more of these spiritual topics and meditation practices that we teach, then hit the subscribe button and stick around.